Hello and welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I'm Resolves, and today we're going to be looking at a Owl ramp deck. So as set 3 is sort of coming to an end and we're about to start on set 4, I decided to pick something up that's a little bit more off the wall, just sort of a ramp control deck that's hopefully managing to hold the fort in the early game with the Hailstorms and Harsh Rolls, especially ahead of curve, as we will be able to play stuff like Power Stone and the Secret Pages, and then hopefully just finish our opponents off with a Channel of Tempest or a couple of chained together Aid of the Hero. There's not too much to say about the deck really, like the plan seems pretty straightforward. We just want to be ramping it up, keeping the board clear, and then taking it off when we take to the skies. Though I've made some concessions with the power base. I'm playing a bunch of just basic sigils, but this is mostly just to facilitate the full playset of Minotaur Ambassador and the Secret Pages as well. And though we are only actually playing 25 power, we do have a bunch of ways to actually get it out of our deck and get ourselves going. But this deck should play pretty much similar to like the Mask Aid decks. So just take it out to the ladder and see what we can do. Okay, so it's got a 1 power hand here, and I think we could just do better. So let's redraw that, try and hit a couple of lands and a little bit of ramp. So we're doing quite well here because we do get to fetch up a Justice here. Then next time we get to make the Power Stone, then turn 3 we can play the Depleted and we can play Secret Pages. Don't have too much to ramp into quite yet. Oh, even better. But we do have the Strategize to be able to find something, and it looks like we're against Feln, so maybe these Permafrost are not going to be too great. We can scout here, and Vanquish probably know what we're looking for here. Try to just find something a little bit more proactive. One of our sort of owl spells or something to actually ramp into though. I'd much prefer Channel at this point. Now Channel's why I'll be getting a 3rd primal here, just sort of working our way up to the 4th one. So Scarborough's got a fast spell there, so it must be Wisdom of the Elders really. Strategize, try and find a little bit of something. Even if it is just another piece of ramp. Double Hailstorm's not really doing too much, just Power Stone up. So we are up to 7 now. Though we do really need some card draw before our opponent's able to start getting on board with Champions of Cunning. Red Fox is fine here. It's going to give us like a win condition, so. Ribbit, ribbit. We can get Hailstormed here, and that's sort of fine, really. Boskai Houndry would be a lot worse, which should perhaps have been considering. But we are probably just going to vanquish this. But Millions of Power's not quite what we're looking for here. We do need a little bit of something to get going. Oh, there we go. Nice Wisdom of the Elders. We'll see if they sort of add a little bit more to the board. We'll just be picking up Primal Sigils now in case we do find any of the Minotaur Ambassadors. So we've got more targets left. The opponent doesn't actually have the Shadow version here, so they'll be able to do too much. So we can take 5 black another turn, and then if our opponent plays more, we'll play Hailstorm to pop any Aegises, and then just Harsh Rule everything else away. But fortunately for us, our opponent did discard a card with the Everwinter. There's going to be no targets for that. So yeah, we can take 7 ones. These decks don't normally play Channel Tempest anymore, so we're sort of fine to go down to 6 here. Okay, well. Hailstorm here just to pop these Aegis. Just got a Harsh Roll. And I'm going to play out this power just because then if we do draw Aid of the Hero, then we'll be at 14 with the secret pages. So we'll be able to play it straight away. Okay, well, this deck's playing Channel now, so let's give them the business, let them know how dead they were. Let's go to the next one. Okay, here on the round 2 on the draw, and this hand doesn't seem to do too much. The power seems pretty awful, so let's redraw there. Perhaps that's a sort of problem we're going to get just by playing a bunch of basic sigils though. But we do get to crest here to try and find a undepleted power, so we get to play this Power Stone on turn. Seat of Order is not quite what we're looking for, but it is more power, so I will keep it. Really want to be able to get up to this Minotaur Ambassador. And if we're just getting like basic praxis, then hopefully the Permafrost will be enough just to hold the fort for a little bit. And if we're against tokens, then hopefully the Hailstorm, then just like Wisdom into a Harsh Roll should do enough. Yeah, so this is tokens, so this Hailstorm should do a good amount of work here. Just play down the banner because we're unlikely to have a unit in play, but with the seats we are more likely to actually just draw a power for them. So if you do draw a basic sigil, these will be underplayed. Well, so we get to do a good amount of ramping here. Though because we do have like Minotaur Ambassadors in the deck, I do lean more towards picking up Primal with your sort of power tutors once you've got your influence side. Okay, well this is a sort of spicy combination of cards, but I suppose maybe the tokens deck is now playing the Sandstorm Titan. So I can just pass here. If I probably do something too spicy, we need to really be digging towards a Harsh Roll, then I will just Wisdom Elders instead, but otherwise probably just going to play the secret pages and then set up shop with the Minotaur Ambassador. Okay, great, so we get to Minotaur Ambassador and then vanquish this. And then whatever the next like big sort of payoffs our opponent's got in Praxis, we will just be able to Permafrost them down, so not too much of a rough shape here. But this 3-5 should be able to hold the fort, maybe not from the Flying Wisp, but from sort of a bunch of our opponent's smaller units. Cool, so I've got a payoff in the Aid of the Hero here, so that's something I look forward to. May as well crest. Channel's probably good, it's going to get the ball rolling. Really going to help us snowball into this Aid of the Hero. But for now, I'm just going to sit back with the Ambassador. So hopefully the opponent plays a few more things, so we get to use this Hailstorm. So I'm thinking now as well, because do it as channelless, and just because our win condition is going to be the Aid, and I think we don't, this is going to be straight at our opponent. We're still going to have enough power left, and as daft as it seems, might want to just Permafrost the Lyrian Ember, but I don't feel like we're dead. Our opponent would need to have like 3 rallies and some other cards that just don't exist, so it's going to be nice and getting us up to the Aid next turn as well. So that should stun the Wisp as well as giving us some blockers, a bit of extra life. Wow, that probably is going off. So do you have a fast bounce? I'm hoping it's not a rally, I just want to take 9 here. That'd be pretty gross. Okay, well, our opponent's just sort of asking to be hailstormed here, although our Age of the Hero is going to have a similar effect right now. Okay, so you can see how easy it is just to chain Age of the Heroes, because drawing 4 cards is pretty nice to be able to find the rest of them. Though we could very well just have sort of lethal next turn just from this channel. So unfortunately we won't get to chain them. So it's base for 11 and then channel for like 20 or something. If anything actually went wrong here, so if our opponent did have interaction, we'd have the follow-up of the Great Parliament. So next seems pretty powerful when he actually gets to do its thing though. Okay, we're on the draw again. And that looks sort of fine here really. We're going to be in trouble trying to get the Justice, but we don't really need this until 6. We've also got the Power Stone to get us there, bit of interaction, so I think we'll keep this, although it could be forgiven for mulliganing that just to try and get a bit of a better hand with some more interaction. And answer is not quite what we're looking for here, but you'd want actual Justice cells. Though it looks like we're playing against Felon again, and this matchup could actually just be real rough. Okay, so maybe it's unitless, which could be pretty rough as well, but hopefully we're just able to get there for our own channels. We should both have a bunch of dead cards in the matchup though. Yeah, this card's not been played for quite a while, but it's also been a cool one and was completely busted in draft, just a huge 3/5. Was pretty good against whatever decks I was drafting during set 1. Okay, well we are going to be punished now for keeping this hand because we are looking like we're struggling for any sort of card draw, just a bunch of uncastables in hand. Oh, Secret Pages does help. I'm just going to fire it off now. Up at messing about, get the Justice Sigil. If we get Undepleted Power next turn, we're able to play the Minotaur Ambassadors and that'll ramp us up into this channel. Most of the big spells aren't really worth ramping into, so like Moment of Creation, but the Channel Tempest often comes at a point where you've got enough cards in hand to actually be able to wall up your opponent for a reasonable amount of damage, as well as be able to draw into just some more fat ways of winning. Okay, so I probably was playing something a little bit more unique than I was thinking with Parish Press Gang. So, yes, Toxic. Was sort of expecting to see a Cliffside Porter there. But we are going to go right up here. Going to play another Minotaur Ambassador next turn because sadly we don't have the sort of quad primal for the channels. But maybe this is just something we're going to come into just because. Okay, that's a sort of spicy meatball there. Maybe this is just something we are going to come into just because we're playing a lot more sort of basic sigils than most decks would be. But let's just bosh this. I'm probably really happy just to put across the Toxic. No doubt our opponent can mess about with Devour just to sort of get back into the library, but just stop ourselves from taking like 1,000,000 damage from her. Although they do have a reasonably nice double block setup. But as we're at 10 power, sort of looking towards draw like an Age of the Hero, or just a Primal Source will get us there with these channels, just be able to chunk our opponent for a bunch of damage and then draw us another 3 cards. So is the opponent playing like a full 4 factions here, or is it just a off-color crest? These tactics are reasonably good here, though. Just happy to double block here. That's an interesting use of Nostrix. I've been a big fan of Nostrix in the Cliffside Porters, but the Toctics isn't something I've been considering. Well, the Shadow Splash for the most part is quite free anyway. If I opponent's got removal like Annihilate, it's not going to do too much right here as well. Oh well, Macto. Well, I suppose we're going to challenge our opponent's face. Just try and find an aid with the hero. Ooh, the Silence Choice was gross. Well, in that case, we'll just slow our opponent down a little bit. We'll get that off the board in case our opponent's plan was just to Nostrix the Macto, because that'd be absolutely ridiculous for us to deal with. But for those Revenge units, it looks like our opponent's got a lot of really good targets for the Nostrix. As you're going to get a lot of value just by even hitting the Carnage Press Gang, just because anything with Revenge means you get to sort of have it twice. I think this next turn we're just going to be challenging our opponent's face. We don't have quite enough damage to be able to deal with the Toxic here. Although we could Hailstorm after the channel just to keep the board clear. But I don't think we're too concerned really. If our opponent Islands is here, that's going to be pretty bad for us again. But just strategize, try and find something a little bit deeper. And I guess we'll just be going to Owl Town then. So we get a nice curve, just play Ambassador, make 3 owls. And hopefully be able to dominate the skies, just not facing the Macto for a little while. Last favorite is pretty gross though. Just it's even finding like against Skycrag because it gets to kill champion. Well, now we've got 3 owls, and we're very live to actually just draw an aid and be able to kill our opponent over the course of 2 turns. The sort of nice thing about aid, it will just store all this, let us get it for a bunch, and give us like extra life, extra units in play. And just those 4 cards are just huge. I'm sort of happy to take 6 is fine. Our opponent is slightly favoured here in terms of Harshal because you just get all their stuff back. And Harshal is probably in this deck, just as a way of resetting before you start messing around with the Nostrixes. So I'm pretty certain our opponent's just not got it right now. And what we've got it, but we don't really want to use it right now. Like attack it, get it for 8, and then one of our owls gets gobbled up by the Macto, which I'm not super impressed with. I'm trying not to kill this Kravitz right now because it will just 2 our opponent up a 3/6/6 as soon as they... Okay, so is this a harsh rule turn? Well, we'll leave them with the Revenge one. Lose 2 to our board, then we'll just reset with the harsh roll. But I'm reasonably okay with being defensive right now. We do need to draw a little bit of our top end though. Having both our channels so far countered as being super gross. I can actually see the Macto being a bit of a problem for us as well. I'm happy just to start for another turn here, and then we'll just replay 4 hours if we need to. We're just going to use our board, just try and trade off some of our opponents. It's not the greatest thing because our opponent will get stuff back. Though our opponent could just be setting up their own channel here. The attack as well could be used to sort of fish out if we had anything like an Island's Choice to try and counter theirs. So going for this, it doesn't quite get us an extra owl yet, but it just gives us more bodies. Going for the 4, we've got plenty of bodies left. And this Macto is going to be a bit of a pain. Especially because once you get the Destiny train rolling, it's well, it's lights out for most sort of slow dirtly decks like this one, as we don't actually have an answer to the Ichuzat Macto outside of like Permafrost. Though if we do draw Aid of the Hero now, we're actually in real good shape. Just overblocking forever because I don't want to let our opponent's Annihilates ever be good. Because if you just double block there, you get Annihilated, just 2 of your owls die, and your opponent's still got their thing. Just have Destiny, which is a bit of a pain, because Recurrent Press Gang will bring it back and draw him a card. No, Power Stone's not quite what we're looking for here. I think it was a bit harsh just to buy us some time. Up to the 16 power now, so we do get 4 owls, but we don't have any Aid of the Heroes left to actually use. Many great power, sorry. Yeah, Pro's deck's super interesting. This is pretty sweet. With the Gnostic buff, this Crown Witch Press Gang just becomes a lot more threatening because it is just going to 2 at a point to play the Toxic. But we are pretty dead if our opponent is able to just keep going after the Stone Power Alchemists. Though, Hailstorm Permafrost there. Just to keep our opponent busy just for another turn. Just give us another draw step to try and find Aid of the Hero and rats. We are dead if our opponent does have another Stone Power Alchemist though, because we are only at 2. And Island's Choice is not doing it, so we'll scoop up and go on to the next one. Okay, and here we are on the draw, and this hand seems pretty nice. Here's the Beano deck there, and I can see these Vanquishers being a bit of a pain, but we do have these Strategize and Wisdom, and then this Crest as well, just to be able to try and find us something a little bit more like a Hailstorm. And so the Crest of Wisdom here means our Vanquishers could very well be safe. And yeah, grab another Strategize. We don't have a bunch of card draw already, but if this is something like Temporal, then it helps us to just shuffle away stuff like Vanquish. Okay, so Trailmaker, so this will be... Okay, so I thought it was just straight. Legion could very well actually be Chalice, and that could be a bit of a problem for us. Because I'm pretty sure Chalice will probably just be able to go too much bigger than us. Yeah. So following conclusion, just scoop up, go to the next game. Okay, and run the play here. It sounds nice because we do get to ramp up to like 4, I'll put slow on 2, but we don't have anything to do with it, so I think this is actually just a redraw, so it's just 1,000,000 powers. This is sort of rough. Hopefully we're playing in some sort of beatdown deck where the Hailstorms are good, and if not, we get to ramp into the double Hailstorm. Though I'd really like to actually just get this Minotaur Ambassador on board. Okay, so Wisdom's great. I should be able to dig us to a little bit of something extra to do, and if not, get us some sort of Justice Sigils. And hopefully I'm just playing as like an Elysium mid-range deck here, because that'd be pretty nice just to play something a little bit on the slower side. So I'm tempted to play the Power Stone, because if we spike a Justice we get to play the Minotaur Ambassador. But I'd much prefer just to use my turn to draw some cards here. Okay, this could very well be Charles up against here. Though I'm not seeing any early units to sort of suggest as much. So go for Power Stones here. We are a little bit light on Primal Sources to be able to get these channels out. And sadly the Minotaur Ambassador is not going to help us too much there. Okay, so maybe this is like actual Chalice deck, or maybe Temporal, and just, yeah, it's always Temporal, I'm guessing. Just play the Desert Marshals down just to get an actual clock on us. So we're at 10 power. Well, okay, so maybe this is the sort of original Owl Ramp deck. Yeah, so we'll strategize first, but there is a good argument just to double Hailstorm here just to get rid of this. Okay, well, get rid of the Hailstorm, just vanquish this for our opponent's able to go too deep with it. I suppose we'll chuck in for free. I thought we were probably quite behind because Jeff was playing a sort of better version of our deck, because it's got the more aggressive elements like the Martial Ironform, and no doubt I'll have the Mystic Ascendants. Oh wow, they're going deep on ramp with Memento Mori. Well, I suppose feel pretty silly about bottoming that Hailstorm. We just had two uncastable Channel Tempests. But here we're going to see our opponent just gets to go so much over the top of us here. Because the Minotaur Ambassador is worth like 4 sigils. I suppose we start by fetching up our primals. I suppose we are pretty desperate for a primal source just so that we can get these channels going. We'll kill this turn, because then next turn we can actually just block this. Okay, so we'll lose nothing anyway. Well, now we're in trouble. We've got a removal spell for the Marshal, but Marshal's already done the job, really. We've got our opponent up to 14 resources. We do get punished if our opponent does like follow up with an Aid of the Hurun after combat. Wow, this is gross. Yeah, Post has totally knocked us about here, but I suppose we are using the Primal Sources here just to kill one of the owls. So strategize. The Hailstorm's probably a little bit too late now, so I'll bin that off. Permafrost Sisters, we don't take a million to. Then hopefully our opponent just, for whatever reason, just plays every single card in the hand and we get to Harsh Rule it, but that seems quite unlikely at this point. Okay, well, let's kill all this nonsense. Channel Tempest at this point might actually just be a removal spell. So I think we'll just Minotaur Ambassador here, and then be able to draw some cards so that our channel's still sort of live. Yeah, get out of here, Huru Banner. Rats. Well, we're definitely just getting knocked about by the better version of our deck here. So I suppose we need to Wisdom to try and find another harsh roll. Well, Age of the Hero is okay. This is going to buy us some time. Yeah, let's bottom these banners. Let's get it for free. Give our opponent the business here. And we do get to play 4 hours back. Our opponent's got a 8 though, we're in pretty gross shape. So let's strategize if we find another aid just to keep us going for a little while. Okay, so we do have harsh roll here, so we'll just chunk in for some amount of damage here. So it's a harsh roll. Play our own owls here. Whoops. Played slightly out of order there. Okay, no, wasn't a multiple that mattered. Yeah, so it's a pass. Probably actually just going to secret pages this. I think we've used most of our use most of our strategizers, so there's no reason to just keep random power in hand. So we get the party started just by trying the channel at least. That was always a sort of a good sign. Get to use our crest as well. Yeah, get out of here, Power Stone. We'll make our Parliament though. So suppose you use one harsh roll. So this is the next harsh roll they've got. So we managed to drag ourselves back into it, and we can wonder if our opponent doesn't have an Island Tracer. Okay, so we somehow managed to get there. That was quite the battle. Yeah, sounds sort of fine, really. Probably going to lead on the hero banner, just get it down. Just get to crest our way to victory, like the strategizers. Then hopefully the secret pages will just bring us to being able to do something. So with the strategized, whatever that finds us. But I should lead with a crest first for the information. Already got Permafrost, don't really want to. Which I'll just find something to actually ramp into here. Well, cresting away. Yeah, don't want the basic sigil here. I think we should be fine in terms of actual power. I wish I'd find stuff to do rather. Yep. Well, powered up Champion of Glory, can't do anything with the Permafrost anyway, so just strategize here, try to find like a Hailstorm, so it's pretty good against this deck. And if not, you don't even realize to seek powers here. But Hailstorm's good here, and so is Harsh Roll as well, because I was probably not playing stuff like Protect anymore. So this is a bit of a nuisance because this is a really quick clock. And the Hailstorm's not quite going to be doing it anymore. I suppose the secret page is just to get us up there. Grab Primal Time. Permafrost this. We can still grab a second Justice Horse with the Seek power. But the Hailstorm there just right on time, it seems. Though Hailstorm's probably worth playing here just to reduce our opponent's clock a little bit. But Harsh Roll here is just as good actually. Yeah, let's get rid of this nonsense. Could have Hailstorm here just to kill a Whirling Duo, but I think the Harsh Roll's better just to clears the entire board, and this Champion of Glory is just going to be a bit of a nuisance for us. So Power Sigil, no thanks. Just Hailstorm this. We are quite a way away from being able to play the Aid of the Hero, but if we do draw like a channel or something, we can use that as a removal spell, just to be able to get us to the point where we can actually just play this and start trying to take over the game. Well, Ozzy Corner's fine, and it also gets popped by the Iron Strikes because it does have a Warcry in it. And first, what we'll do, just try and keep our life total in a reasonable shape so just don't get burnt out with torches. Well, you sort of have to play your power out. We do have like 12 drops in hand, so can't really keep them in hand in case we draw like a strategize or something. But also, if we do draw like a wisdom, should be able to play whatever we've got. Okay, process using like finest hours here is like burn spells, which is sort of reasonable. Okay, so wisdom time. Won't mind actual Great Parliament here. Oh, well, we at least get to hold what secret pages. Could very well be dead here. But if we're not, and we draw an undepleted power, we'll be able to play the Aid of the Hero, which also gain us 4, and rats, we're dead. Well, let's show them that we meant business. No, I'll let them get in the war cries. Wow, that was pretty good there. Okay, so that was the Owl Ramp deck, and perhaps this was just a little bit too slow and clunky with the Aid of the Heroes and the Channels of Tempest. It couldn't always play because as a concession to having all this stuff like Ambassador and the secret pages, we're playing more basic sigils. So maybe the deck does need reworking from that angle. There's sort of the existing Owl Ramp deck, which we did play against, and that deck looked a lot more impressive than ours. We managed to get there in the end just with a sort of peeled channel, but other than that, I think that's probably where you want to go with this deck. But you know, I sort of enjoyed it. This is another one of those relaxing sort of control decks you can just play if you want to chill on the ladder for like an hour or two whilst you're watching a bit of Netflix on the side. But other than that, thanks for watching. I've been That Resolves, and this was Owl Patrol.